Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, whenever you're listening to this podcast. It's George here with Coffee Break with George. Today's stories are Argentina in iconic collapse as inflation hits 113%, 5 breakthroughs pushing us closer to a cure for cancer, and finally more news on the Lucy Letby, a nurse of the Countess of Chester Hospital. We're going to talk about the situation in Argentina, where the annual inflation rate has reached a staggering 113% in July 2023. According to official data, this is the highest level since 1991, when the country was suffering from hyperinflation and had to adopt a currency peg to the US dollar. What does this mean to Argentina people and the government? And how did this happen? And what can we do to stop it? Argentina is a South American country with a population of 45 million people and a GDP of around 150 billion. It's a rich history and culture, as well as abundant natural resources such as agriculture, mining and energy. However, it has been plagued by political and economic instability, corruption and debt crisis for decades. The current crisis is the result of a combination of factors, including the COVID-19 pandemic, which hit Argentina hard and forced the government to impose strict lockdowns and social distancing measures that severely affected the economic activity and tax revenues. The depreciation of the Argentinian peso, which has lost more than 80% of its value against the US dollar since 2018. This made imports more expensive and eroded the purchasing power of consumers and businesses. The fiscal deficit, which has widened it more than 10% of GDP in 2020, as the government increased spending to support the health system and provide relief to vulnerable sectors of society. The deficit was financial by printing money, which added to inflationary pressure. The lack of confidence in the government's ability to manage the economy and implement reforms. Argentina has a long history of defaulting on its external debts, most recently in 2020 when it restructured about 65 billion worth of bonds to private creditors. The government is still negotiating with the International Money Fund to reach a new agreement on its 45 billion loan programme, which requires physical consolidation and structural changes. The social unrest and political polarisation, which has increased in the run-up to the midterm elections in November 2023. The ruling coalition led by President Alberto faces a strong challenge from the opposition, from President Marcino, who advocates for more market-friendly policies. The public opinion is divided over how to deal with this crisis and what role the government should play in the economy. The consequences of high inflation devastating the Argentinian people has seen its income shrink and their savings evaporate. According to official data, poverty has increased by 35% in 2019 to 42% in 2020, affecting more than 18 million people. The unemployment rate has grown by 8.9% in 2019 to 11% in 2020, leaving more than 2 million people without work or the basic of good services that denies the poverty line, increasing by 51.8% last year, and the minimum wage increased by only 35%. This means that workers can't afford to meet their basic needs. The government has tried to contain inflation by implementing such measures by freezing public utility traffic such as electricity, gas, water and transport. We could do with that in the UK. Controlling prices of essential goods such as food, medicine and fuel. We could do with that in the UK. Limiting foreign exchange transactions and imposing capital controls. Increasing subsidies and social assistance programme. However, these measures have not been enough to curb inflation and also had a negative side effects such as reducing investment and productivity in key sectors of economy, creating distortion and shortages in the markets, and encouraging informal activity and tax evasion. The experts agree that Argentina needs a comprehensive plan to stabilise its economy and restore confidence among investors, creditors and citizens. Next, we're going to talk about 5 breakthroughs that have pushed us closer to the cure of cancer. Cancer is one of the most commonly deadly diseases in the world, affecting millions of people every year. It occurs when cells in the bodies grow anomaly and uncontrollably, forming tumours that can invade and damage other tissues and organs. There are many types of cancer, each with causes, symptoms and treatments. Some cancers can be cured if detected early and treated effectively, while others are more difficult to treat and may require more aggressive therapies. However, there is hope. Scientists and doctors are constantly working to find new ways to prevent, diagnose and treat cancer using cutting-edge technologies, innovative approaches. Here are 5 examples of recent breakthroughs that could change the future of cancer care. A new drug that targets a specific genetic mutation in lung cancer. Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death worldwide, killing more than 1.7 million people every year. One of the main challenges in treating lung cancer is often it develops resistance in existing drugs, making it harder to control. However, a new drug called socosabib, I might have said that long, has shown promising results in clinical trial involving patients with a specific type of lung cancer. That the mutation called KRSA2, the mutation is found about 13% of lung cancers and makes them more aggressive and resilient to treatment. Sotorasib works by blocking activity of the mutate KRAS protein, which drives the growth or survival of cancer cells. This trial that sosorabib shrank tumours by 37%, patients stopped the treatment at 81%, and the drug also managed the effects and improves the quality of life of patients. This is the first time the drug has been able to target the mutation effectively, opening up new possibilities for personalised medicine and precise immunology. A new test that detects multiple types of cancer from the blood sample. One of the key curing cancers is finding it early before it spreads, causing more damage. However, many cancers do not cause the symptoms until they are advanced, making them harder to diagnose. Moreover, some cancers are difficult to detect with current screening methods such as mammographs and colonoscopies, which will be invasive, expensive and inconvenient for some people. A new test called Galilei aims to overcome these limitations by using a simple blood draw to detect more than 50 types of cancers at once. The test works by analysing the DNA fragments that are released by dying cancer cells into the bloodstreams. The test can identify the presence and location of cancer with high accuracy and low false positives. The test can also detect cancers that are not usually screened for, such as ovarian, pancreatic, or liver cancers. This test is currently being evaluated in large-scale trials using 140,000 people in the UK, and if successful, the test could revolutionise cancer screening and save millions of lives. Number 3, a new vaccine that prevents cervical cancer caused by HPV infection. Cervical cancer is the 4th most common cancer in women worldwide, affecting more than 500,000 women every year. A new vaccine called Gardasil 9 has been developed to prevent cervical cancer by protecting against 9 types as HPV are responsible for 90% of cervical cancer. A new therapy that uses bacteria to fight brain tumours. Brain tumours are almost the most challenging cancers to treat, as they are often hard to reach with surgical or radiation and can develop resistance to chemotherapy. A new therapy called TOCA511-TOCA-FC uses bacteria to develop a potential anti-cancer agent directly into brain tumours. The therapy consists of 2 parts. The TOCA511 is a modified version of the harmless bacterium that can infect brain tumour cells. TOCA-FC is a pill that contains a substance that can be converted into a toxic drug by the bacteria. The therapy works by injecting TOCA511 into the tumour, where it infects and replicates inside the cancer cells. Then the patient takes TOCA-FC orally, which reaches the brain through bloodstream. The bacteria inside the tumour cells convert to TOCA-FC into a drug that kills the cancer cells and activates the immune system to attack the tumour. The therapy has been tested in clinical trials involving patients with recurrent high-grade glioma, a type of aggressive brain tumour that has a poor prognosis. The trial found that the therapy increased survival rate and reduced the risk of death by 68% compared to standard care. The therapy also had minimal side effects and improved the quality of life of their patients. Also, this is one of my favourite ones, a new technique that uses sound waves to destroy prostate tumours. Has had trials on other tumours as well, so sound waves to actually destroy the tumours. Prostate cancer is the second most common cancer in men worldwide, affecting more than 1.4 million men every year. It's usually treated with surgery and radiation or hormone therapy, dependent on the stage of aggressiveness of the disease. However, these treatments have serious side effects. A new technique called high-intensity focus ultrasound, HIFU, offers a less invasive and more precise way of treating prostate cancer by using sound waves to heat and destroy the prostate tumour. The technique works by inserting a probe into the rectum and directing the ultrasound waves through the prostate wall. The ultrasound wave creates the high temperature that kills the cancer cells without damaging the surrounding tissue. The technique can be used to treat the whole process or just part of it, depending on the size of location of the tumour. The technique is shown to be effective in eliminating prostate cancer with minimal side effects and faster recovery times. They have found that the sound wave on certain frequencies destroys different tumours. How amazing is that? Sound waves on different frequencies. They are just some of the outstanding research that doctors are doing to eliminate cancer. Hopefully, we will see this as in mainside medicine in the near future, and these breakthroughs are made possible by the hard work and dedication of the scientists, doctors and patients and donors who share a common vision, a world without cancer. We're diving into a deeply distressing case that has shaken the medical community and society as a whole. I did speak about it in the last video. We're discussing the harrowing story of Lucy Letby, a nurse at the Countess of Cheshire Hospital, who has been found guilty of unthinkable crimes. Imagine a nurse, a figure of trust and care, and now being convicted of the most heinous acts. Lucy Letby, a 33-year-old nurse, has been found guilty of murdering 7 babies and attempting to kill 6 others between June 2015 and June 2016. Her trial, one of the longest-running murder trials in recent history, concluded with her conviction at Manchester Crown Court. The details are truly chilling. Letby deliberately injected babies with air, force-fed them milk, and even poisoned 2 infants with insulin. Her action have led to be named the worst child serial killer in modern UK history. The magnitude of her actions is nothing short of horrifying. It has also come to the attention in new reports that the reason why Letby was harming these children was to gain the attention of a doctor that she was infatuated with. She would run to this doctor to help solve the problems that she was creating with these children. How disturbing is that? The scope of Letby's crimes goes beyond comprehension. She has also been convicted of attempting to kill 6 other infants at the same hospital. The trial portrayed Letby as a calculating and devious opportunist who manipulated her colleagues to cover her murderous assaults. As we grapple with the gravity of this case, we look ahead of sentencing. Letby will face her fate at Manchester Crown Court, where the impact of her action and the lives of innocent babies and her families will be weighed against her. The Lucy Letby case serves as a stark reminder of the trust we place in health professionals and the devastating consequences that the trust is betrayed. It's a call for vigilance, accountability, and ensuring that those who care for the vulnerable do so with the utmost integrity. As we reflect on this heart-wrenching case, let's remember that the innocent lives affected and the families forever changed. Let's advocate for the healthcare systems being built on transparency, empathy, and the unwavering commitment to the well-being of those under our care. That's everything for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Coffee Break with George. I look forward to seeing you again. Don't be shy. Hit the subscribe button. It will be absolutely amazing for you to be notified for these fantastic videos. And I will speak to you all very soon. Bye.